Welcome to today's analysis. If you're a retail investor looking ahead to the horizon for 2026, you're probably feeling a massive sense of overwhelming confusion right now. And honestly, I get it. There's just this relentless flood of data, endless market opinions, and a seemingly infinite number of stocks to choose from. It's incredibly easy to get lost in all that noise, end up chasing the wrong trends, and make decisions driven purely by emotion rather than a calculated, solid strategy. So that brings us to the real burning question of the hour, right? 2026 Kalie best stocks Kessie. Or simply put, how do we actually pick the absolute best stocks for 2026? Well, the good news is you don't have to guess. We've completely distilled massive amounts of market data, tracked institutional buying patterns, and broken down expert frameworks into a single cohesive playbook to answer exactly that. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We're looking at 1. Following institutional money. 2. AI and momentum investing. 3. The power of moats. 4. The evergreen checklist. And finally, number 5, your final blueprint. All right, let's kick things off with pillar number 1, following institutional money or tracking the smart money. Get a load of this number. In May 2026 alone, while foreign investors were busy offloading their positions and selling, our domestic institutions basically went on a massive shopping spree. We are talking about injecting 85,000 crore rupees into the market. That is just staggering. This divergence is a huge signal for us as retail investors. When foreign money pulls out because of global macro fears, domestic money, the folks on the ground who actually see the fundamental growth, step in aggressively. This isn't retail pocket change, right? This is a calculated, massive movement of smart money looking for future strongholds. Following this money means aligning your own portfolio with the heaviest hitters in the economy. See, institutions, they don't just guess. They are buying scale, stability, and future capacity. Just look at the massive inflows into large caps like ICICI and HDFC Bank. For HDFC, they're betting on an ecosystem expanding to over 10 core customers, really anchoring the financial sector. But it's not just the big guys. Mid-cap companies are capturing huge attention too. Lenskart pulled in over 3,500 crore, solidifying retail dominance, and JSW Energy secured over 2,300 crore for massive infrastructure scaling. And then, down in the small-cap space, Pine Labs saw over 10,140 crore rupees in investment. Why? Because the smart money sees them not just as a card machine company, but as the foundational digital payment infrastructure for the whole country. Every tier has a specific, calculated role. To put this into perspective, take a look at JSW Energy's capacity growth. This is exactly why institutions deploy this kind of capital. They jumped from 4.6 gigawatts back in FY21 to 13.45 today. But the kicker? They have a hard, locked-in target of 30 gigawatts by 2030. Smart money buys into this because they're betting on ambitious scaling that's already in motion. When you buy into a company like this, you aren't day trading the daily news. You're literally securing a stake in their 2030 energy grid. They are buying tomorrow's capacity today. Moving on to our second pillar, AI and momentum investing, or as I like to call it, catching the running horses. Now, to really understand momentum, we need to contrast it with traditional investing. Evergreen investing is all about buying strong fundamentals and holding them forever, weathering the storms. But momentum investing, that operates on a completely different, much more aggressive philosophy. There's this brilliant old Indian market proverb that translates to feeding chickpeas to a running horse. Bhagte gorde ho chane khilao. It basically means you don't waste time hunting for the cheapest, most beaten down stock. Nope, you buy the stock that is already sprinting forward and you aggressively ride that upward trend until it finally shows signs of slowing down. And this brilliantly illustrates the point. Over a 5-year period, the standard Nifty 50 index gave you a respectable 54% return. But an AI-driven momentum strategy, specifically the Nifty 20 strategy, it delivered a jaw-dropping 415% return over that exact same time frame. The difference between capturing average market growth and capturing explosive momentum is just massive. It's the difference between slow, steady compounding and aggressively capturing market anomalies. Absolutely wild. So how does this actually work in practice? Well, tools like Investing Pro remove human emotion entirely. Step 1, the AI continuously scans the market. Step 2, it spots explosive growth and sheer momentum, totally ignoring whatever narrative is playing on the news. And step 3 is the real secret sauce, monthly rebalancing. On the very first of every single month, the AI just ruthlessly cuts the losers and adds new winners based purely on cold, hard data. It doesn't have a favorite stock, it doesn't care about brand loyalty, just pure momentum. If a stock stops running, it gets cut. Simple as that. All right, shifting gears to our third pillar, the power of moats, the evergreen fundamentals. Now, if you're the kind of person who wants to build wealth without frantically checking your portfolio every single month, we have to return to timeless market fundamentals. We're talking about an economic moat. Think of a medieval castle. The deeper and wider the ditch, the moat around it, the harder it is for enemies to attack. In business, a moat is a distinct competitive advantage that protects a company's market share and profits from competitors trying to steal their margins. These are those rare, evergreen stocks you can confidently buy, forget about, and just let compounding do the heavy lifting. For instance, take a look at a scale and distribution moat. Polycab commands a massive 30% of the entire organized wire and cable market in India. Because they have thousands of distributors deeply entrenched across every corner of the country, it is incredibly difficult and wildly expensive for any new competitor to even attempt to enter the market and steal their market share. Their distribution network itself is literally the fortress. Now, what's really interesting about this next one is the regulatory and switching cost moat. Take Bharat Electronics, or BEL. They supply critical defense electronics. You can't just wake up and decide to build missile radar systems, right? You need strict military certifications that take years, if not decades, to acquire. And once BL installs a system, they lock in 20+ years of guaranteed repair and maintenance revenue. The military simply cannot and will not switch to a random, cheaper competitor. That is an unbreachable moat for sure. And then we have the absolute genius of the data moat, perfectly executed by Bajaj Finance. You see them offering 0 EMI on a new phone, and you think, oh nice, they're just financing a gadget. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a Trojan horse to acquire massive amounts of your personal financial data. They use AI to analyze that data, predict your behavior, and then cross-sell you highly profitable personal, gold, and home loans. This whole ecosystem allows them to achieve an almost unheard of 9.5% net interest margin. This isn't just retail, it's a data monopoly. And for us as investors, monopolies equal safety. Moving right along to Section 4, the Evergreen Checklist. These are your golden rules. Listen, a company's moat is only real if it produces verifiable, rock-solid numbers consistently over a decade. So here is your ultimate, screenshotable golden tenure checklist to filter them out. First up, you want to see consistent sales growth year after year. This proves the market actually wants their product. Second, a return on equity and return on capital employed strictly above 15%. Showing management is actually efficient with the capital you give them. Third, zero or very low debt. That is absolutely crucial so they can survive high interest rate cycles without bleeding cash to banks. And finally, a market capitalization above 10,000 crore rupees. This weeds out the highly volatile microcaps and ensures the company has true staying power. If a company passes these strict filters across a full 10 years, it proves their moat is generating real consistent wealth. And finally, Section 5, your final blueprint. Let's put it all together. We've covered a tremendous amount of ground in this explainer today, and you now possess 3 entirely distinct frameworks to approach the market. But I want to leave you with this absolutely critical warning, one that echoed across all our source data today. Patience is the ultimate currency. Whether you choose to track the massive institutional smart money, aggressively ride the AI momentum trends, or quietly invest in evergreen business moats, none of it works without patience. Long-term holding is where true, life-changing wealth is forged. So what does this all mean for you? Which of these 3 pillars actually fits your personal risk appetite for 2026? Are you a smart money tracker, a momentum chaser, or a moat builder? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's analysis, and happy investing.